Hello and welcome to the Edupedia world. Well, in this tutorial, we are going to study about queue in collections. So this is part 1 of queue. So let's begin that. Okay, so Java collections queue. Well, java.util.queue interface is a subtype of java.util collection interface. It is represented as an ordered list of objects just like a list, but its intended use is slightly different. A queue is designed to have elements inserted at end of the queue, and elements are removed from beginning of the queue. So just like a queue in supermarket. So in supermarket, when people arrange themselves in queue, so whenever the next person comes, he has to put himself at the end of queue, and whenever one person leaves the queue to enter a supermarket or to get the billing done, it's the first one in the line who's get the return. So this is actually called FIFO. FIFO means first in first out rule. So whoever got in the first will be the first one to leave the queue. Okay. Now queue implementations. Let's see and begin the collection subtype. All method in collection interface are also available in queue interface. Since queue is a subtype of collection interface, so all methods are available for queue interface also. Then since queue is an interface, you need to instantiate a concrete implementation of the interface in order to use it. You can choose between the following queue implementation in Java Collection API. Like we have a linked list and then we have a priority queue. So both of these are actually the queue implementation in Java API. Now linked list is pretty standard queue implementation, and priority queue stores its element internally according to their natural order if they implement comparable according to comparable paths to priority queue. So it actually stores the element in their natural order, or you can give the priority according to your comparable implementation. If there are also queue implementation in concurrent package, but let's leave them as of now. So here are a few examples of the queue instances. Like you can say QQA is equal to new linked list, or we can have new priority queue also. Let's move forward. Now adding and accessing the elements. So to add elements to a queue, you call its add method, and this method is inherited from collection interface. So here is an example. You can see we have created a new linked list, and then we are having like a queue add, and then we are adding the elements. The order in which elements are added in a queue are stored internally and depends upon implementation. Same is true in which elements are retrieved from the queue. Okay, and you can take the element at head of a queue without taking element out of the queue. This is done via element method. So if you want to just put element at head of queue, then you can use the element method. It will actually store it to the head of queue. To take the first implement element out of the queue, you can use the remove method. So remove method will actually uh, remove the element from the queue. Now you can also iterate the elements using a queue instead of just processing one at a time, and here it is how that looks. So you can say we are having a queue implementation, and the implementation we are processing over here is a linked list. Then we have added 3 elements to that. After that, we are using iterator object on Q1 and QA, and then using iterator has next method, we are iterating by calling iterator.next and getting the element. Or we can even access it using for each loop. So you can see that accessing the elements in a queue implementation is exactly similar to as we have done in other collections. That is either using a for each loop or using a iterator, or you can even do it with a simple for loop as well. Okay. Now removing element. To remove element from a queue, you call the remove method. This method removes the element at head of the queue. In most queue implementation, the head and tail of queue are at opposite ends. It is possible, however, to implement the queue interface so that head and tail of queue is in same end. In that case, you would have a stack. So if that becomes true, then it will actually become a stack implementation. Well, stack is also a part of collection, but right now we will just concentrate on queue. So here is a remove example. So if you do qa dot remove, then it will remove it from an element which is at the head of the queue. Okay, so this is how remove works. Now generic queue. By default, you can put any object in a queue, but from Java 5, Java generics make it possible to limit the default types. So as we have seen in other collections that you can actually restrict or generify your collection, same thing you can do with your queue. So we are actually, defining it as queue my object queue equals to new linked list my object. So now the queue can only have my object instances inserted to it. You can then access and iterate its element without casting them, and here is how it looks. So you can say we are having my object equals to queue dot remove. So it will actually remove your object from queue, and then you can get that my object, and from the queue you can also do something to like retrieve it and do all the other things that you were doing previously without needing to add a cast since you have generified your queue. Fine. So this is the advantage of using a generic queue that you don't need to add a cast. Let's move forward to Java collections DQ. Well, java.util.dq interface is a subtype of java.util.queue interface. It represents queue where you can insert and remove elements from both the ends of queue. Thus, DQ is short for double-ended queue and it is pronounced as deck of cards. Okay, so that's the purpose of DQ, that you can add and remove elements from both the ends. So that's the advantage of DQ over queue, and it is a subtype of java.util.queue and again defined in java.util package. So it's again an interface, so it actually extends queue interface. Fine. Now let's see the DQ implementation. Well, java.util.navigable interface is a subtype of. So now let's see the implementation of DQ. So being a queue subtype, all methods in queue and collection interface are also available in DQ interface. Since DQ is an interface, you need to instantiate a concrete implementation for the interface in order to use it. You can choose between the following DQ implementation in Java Collection API, which is java.util.arraydq and java.util.linklist. Okay, linklist is pretty standard DQ implementation. Okay. ArrayDQ stores its element internally in an array. If number of elements exceeds the space in array, the new array is allocated and all elements moved over. In other words, the array DQ grows as needed even if it stores elements in array. So, it actually provides a dynamic array. Okay. So if you have reached the number of elements it can contain, then the new array is allocated and elements are moved over. There are also queue implementation in java.util.concurrent package, but let's not go there. So these are two implementations of DQ, which is like array DQ and linked list defined over here. Okay. Now adding and accessing elements in DQ. Add elements to tail of DQ, you can call it add method. So this will add method will simply add to the tail. Or you can also use add first or add last method, which adds the element to head and tail respectively of the DQ. So you can see using in add, we are actually adding to the tail. Add first is actually adding to the head, and add last is actually adding to the tail. The order in which elements are added to the DQ are stored internally and depends upon implementation. The two implementation mentioned earlier both store the element in order in which they are inserted. You can peek at the element at end of queue without taking the element out of the queue. This is done via element method. Okay, so there is a method known as element which will allow you to peek the element at head of queue. Okay, without taking the element out of the queue. So it will just get the element which is like on the head of queue. Fine. You can also use get first and get last method which returns the first and last elements in DQ. Again, so these methods are again also not removing but just fetching the elements from first and last. That is from head and tail respectively. Fine. You can also iterate all elements of DQ instead of just processing one at a time. Here is how that looks. So you see we are having a DQ which is equal to new linked list, and then we are having q dot add, and then we are adding element 0, element 1 and element 2. So access via iterator. Iterator is equal to dq dot iterator. So it is giving us a new iterator, and then we are actually doing has next to check whether this is having more elements. Then we are calling next method to actually fetch the elements. Similarly, we can do it using a for each loop as we have seen in a simple queue implementation. So while iterating the DQ via its iterator or via for loop, which also uses iterator behind the scene. Okay, so the for each loop actually internally uses the iterator. Okay, so the sequence in which elements are iterated depends upon actually the DQ implementation. Like linked list, it will maintain the order. If it's some other implementation, maybe it's not maintaining the order. Okay, so order means the insertion order. Then we have removing elements. To remove elements from a DQ, you call the remove or remove first or the remove last method. Here are a few examples. So remove will actually remove it from the head. Okay. Then remove first will remove it the first element. Remove last will actually remove the last element, that is from the tail. So this is how removing of elements happens in case of DQ. Fine. Now let's see generic DQ. So as in case of Q exactly, by default you can put any object in DQ. But from Java 5, generics make it possible to limit the type of object that we want to insert in Q. So this is an example, and this DQ can now only have my object instances inserted into it. You can then access and iterate its element without casting them. So we don't need to cast it now since we have generified it. So you can simply remove or access it elements without casting it as shown over here. Fine. Okay guys, this was about the queue, and I hope so that you have enjoyed this tutorial and understood about the queue implementation as a part of collection framework. So thank you as of now. Let's meet in the next tutorial. Thank you.